Plaintiff Michelle Bailey met the defendant on a dating website, and she thought he had the big three: a job, a car, and a place to live. However, Michelle soon discovered that the defendant was living on his brother's couch, and he only had a part-time job. Michelle's suing her ex for travel expenses and a credit card bill. Defendant Robert Decker says he and Michelle dated for a little longer than 3 weeks. And although he admits that he wasn't working full-time, he blames it on the economy. Robert admits to owing Michelle for a portion of the lawsuit, but not the full amount.
Tell me what happened.
I had met Rob in February of 2008 on a dating website. I was currently in a relationship, but I was open to dating others. And I chose not to go to bars. I met my ex-husband in a bar, and well, you see where it got me. So my criteria for meeting men, I usually look for the big three: car, job, place to live. When I met Rob, I thought he had those. He drove up in a car. He told me he was living with his brother and he was working construction. He was coming up to my work, taking me to lunch. He bought me flowers. First 3 weeks was pretty good. Well, after that, I realized that the car that he was driving was his brother's, and his brother had had surgery, so he didn't need the car for those weeks. The place where he was living was actually the love seat of his brother's apartment, and the construction job was occasionally. So I decided then, actually, I was going to break it off. I realized...
Because he didn't have a car?
Oh, he didn't have any of the three. I mean, if he was missing one or the other, maybe, you know.
Okay.
So he told me to wait it out. Things are going to turn around. He's trying to work hard. He should have a truck in no time. So I figured, well, I'm not ready to rush into anything anyway. Decided to wait it out and see where it got me. And he did get some jobs here and there. And I would encourage him. I'd bring lunch to his site and kind of hang out a little bit. And
okay.
I actually got work at my parents' house. He was building a deck for my parents. And things were going pretty good. And at the end of June, he had invited my daughter and I up to his family's cottage up in Traverse City, Michigan. And I said, well, that sounds good. He's like, yeah, I should have a truck by then. I'll have about $1,000 to spend up there. And I'm like, well, that'll be great. I appreciate that. It should be fun. Day before, he tells me that he couldn't get the truck and he didn't have any money. So actually, my parents fronted him the $300 to go up there. When we got up there, he realized his son didn't have any clothes. So he spent most of the money on clothes for his son. So I figure, I will go ahead and put it on my card, and you can go ahead and pay me back. I said, I don't even want the full amount. Just pay me half. That's fine. I'm spending money. I'm having a good time. And when we got back, things didn't go quite as well as we planned. He said he was waiting on a check when we came back, and that kind of fell through.
You're still waiting? Let me hear from him. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that check, too, by the way, Your Honor. Part of that's true, Your Honor, but we started dating. It was a little longer than 3 weeks. We met a couple of times. She didn't want to meet somebody at a bar. Well, the first 2 dates were at a bar.
We talked first beforehand.
Well, we had talked for about a week prior to meeting at a bar. Now, yes, I was using my brother's car. Yes, the work I did have was kind of steady. With the economy in Michigan, it's hit and miss. So I worked when I could, and I worked as long as I could. She did complain a few times, well, you're working 14, 15 hours. So, I worked when I could.
Right.
I always pitched in. When we went out, I paid for it. I used my money.
That's not true. He bought me one dinner. One dinner.
Let him finish, ma'am. Go ahead.
So, I did what I could. Yes, I did live with my brothers because I was married. I was engaged for 13 years. It didn't work out with me and my ex. We had split up. We were apart for 2 years.
A lot of folks are living together in Michigan, so that you don't have to.
That's how it is over there.
Toughest economy in the country. So.
Right. So I was doing the best that I could, Your Honor. And yes, I did. Throughout all this relationship, she was seeing other guys. I was not seeing other women. We had gotten serious there for a little while, and then it had ended. And my uncle and I did buy a vehicle. 2 of the jobs that I had did for the debt company that I was working for up there did not pay me. So at that point in time, when they didn't pay me the $1,700 in which they had owed me at that point was 2 days prior to us leaving for this trip up to my family's cottage. They said, don't worry about the food. We'll take care of the food. All of us are bringing coolers up north.
Sir, that's
you don't have
about
to pay for
6 or
anything.
7 stories. You've lost me a long time ago. Just tell me, why don't you want to pay the money?
Because I don't feel, when her vehicle broke down, Your Honor, I fixed it for her. The first time it broke down, she was out with her ex-boyfriend, who she left when she started dating me. I drove my uncle out there. I picked up her daughter and another girl.
You think you have provided enough support for her to offset these things? Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Well, the 3 times that I repaired the vehicle, Your Honor, were about $600 to $700. I did agree to pay for the brake. That was my responsibility to pay for the brake that she'd put on her card.
Let's get to agreements. So use the key word. What was agreed upon? Ma'am, your $1,155 for travel and credit card. What did you all agree on?
Oh, he agreed on paying me $1,100. I have a check here. Well,
Well, if you have a check, then he's already paid you.
Well, every time I tried to see if there was funds available, there's never funds available. And when I went to go cash it, the account was closed.
Yes, I had to close the account, Your Honor, because I had to take care of my son.
What are you talking about? You don't think you should pay the woman? You've given
I should pay her for the break, which is, I think,
You pay her for this check.
What's $600?
No, $1,100. That's what you wrote. Hand it to
Right.
him. Recognize that?
I did.
Pay this woman her money, sir. There's no defense to this. You wrote the woman a check, and this is something that has no conditions on it. It didn't say if so or whatever.
It was
just a straight up check to her, whether it's a gift or whether it's repayment. The fact is, you issued it to her for her to cash.
Correct.
And she's unable to cash it. Therefore, you've bounced the check.
No, I actually put a stop payment on that check.
All right.
When I could not put the money in the account because I had to get my kids' school clothes and stuff.
Well, she didn't accept your stop payment excuse. So $1,100 is her judgment. Have a good day.
Hi, Judge. I'm Kimberly. Are there any cases that a judge cannot try due to conflict of interest?
Yeah, Kimberly, a judge must remove himself from any case that might appear to have a conflict. Perhaps a family member is involved. He might have a financial interest, the judge. He might be in a relationship with the person or one of the attorneys. And in other cases, which might not be a clear case of conflict, the judge can ask both parties if they mind if he continues. And if either of the parties say they want the judge to back off from the case, the judge has to. But if either party says or both parties say it's all right, then the judge can stay on the case. But in most cases, the judge probably would decide to step down anyway because he wants to make sure he is fair and unbiased as the law requires. Judges must be impartial in every case. All right? Good luck.